May the 25th, about 1 minute away from shooting light. It's my first turkey hunt of 2019 in the big wild year. I don't really have a good spot to hunt turkeys, but I have a good spot to pick leeks. So I'm doing a little combo this weekend. Gonna try and hunt turkeys in the very early morning and pick leeks all day. And when I'm tired of picking leeks, I'm gonna try some steelhead fishing in a little river nearby. Which will be my first time steelhead fishing. So we'll see how that goes as well. So I've seen turkey sign in here in other years, but I didn't see any when I scouted it late last night. I tried a locator call this morning, doing a barred owl hoot. Didn't hear any turkeys, but I'm just gonna settle in and try some turkey calls. I'll show you what I've got here. I made a wing bone turkey yelper out of turkey wing bones. So it's the radius and the ulna glued together. I didn't add the humerus. Most people use all three pieces, but I like the sound that it makes right now. And give it a little try. Anyway, I can't hunt and film at the same time, so I'm gonna settle in and get some hunting done. So I brought my Valmet 12 gauge over 222 and I have some bismuth Kent cartridges. Number 4s, I think. Or number 3s. There's a couple more of them on my bag here. So this is my nice leather and quill work bag that Delphanie made me. Goes with me on most of my foraging adventures. Been out for an hour. And there's a real nice morning bird chorus, but no turkey calls. These wing-bone turkey calls are pretty easy to make. Even if you just have a Christmas turkey and you save the wing bones after, you hollow them out with a wire brush or something. And then cut the ends off. Well, you have to cut them off first to hollow them out, and then you just try and find where you're going to be able to fit the small one into the medium one and the medium one into the bigger one. And then I just filled the gap on them here with a little bit of craft glue. You could use wood glue, and the way you use them, it's like when you call a cat or a mouse. You can adjust the sound a little bit by cupping your hands. And it's the vibration of the air that you're sucking in through the bones that makes the call make the noise. so doesn't appear to be any turkeys here right now. But there are some really nice leek patches, and there's also a lot of partridge berry around, so I'm going to switch gears and I'm going to pick partridge berry because we're pretty much out of berries, and it would be nice to have some berries to be putting into our acorn flour cakes. And I'm going to start picking some leeks. And if I happen to hear turkeys in the day, then maybe I'll set up again. Otherwise, I'll give it another try tomorrow. And it's pretty overcast right now. There's like a 60% chance of showers, chance of a thunderstorm. So hopefully I can get some good picking in without getting too wet. And maybe I'll work in a little bit of trout fishing today as well. Here's the partridge berries that are growing all over here. They're a little bit bland, but look what else I found. Gyrometra esculenta. It's a false morel. It's got a lot of centipedes and things on it. Maybe there'll be more of those. Enough worth picking. So it started to drip a little bit and I got suited up in my rain gear and then it stopped. Probably been at it for a little bit more than an hour. Got one bucket here with a couple hundred leeks. And I'm going to pick some more, so I've got a few more containers to fill. And just kind of moseying along from patch to patch. I like to use my tree planting shovel, which has a cut down blade, so it's only about 5 or 6 inches long, I guess. And just kind of get close to the plants, lift them up a little bit to loosen them, and pull the bulbs out with the greens attached. And I aim to pick well under 5% of what's here, because I want this patch to continue to be a very productive patch, and I'm sure the odd person comes by and picks a few as well, so there's a cumulative effect from multiple harvests. But I've been coming here for 5 or 6 years, I guess. This is my friend Dan's secret patch, so I really appreciate that he shared it with me. And so I also keep it a secret and just harvest lightly. There are plenty of leeks to be had here. It's a bit of a drive for me from North Bay, but I'm sure I'll find another good patch closer at some point. But it's nice to come down and have a little visit with my friend. And I'm excited to try fishing here for the first time as well, which will be later today if the weather's okay, and for sure tomorrow morning. So I haven't heard any turkeys, but there's a lot of other birds calling. And so far it's going really well. I actually like to get into the middle of the patch a bit and pick where they're thickest, because I feel like that helps to thin them out and make room for them more to grow where they've already been successful. And but I will also pick at the edges. So this is my tree planting shovel from many years ago. I planted with it. I lent it to my friend's sister. She planted with it. I use it in the garden. I use it for leek picking. I use it as an ice chisel in the winter. So it works pretty well. And that's what I'm after. So there's a range of sizes of bulbs here. Pretty much whatever I pull out of the ground I keep. And I'm keeping the dirt on and the bulbs attached to the leaves because I think they'll travel better that way. In my experience, they have. And I'll wash them all off when I get home. The greens, we typically will dehydrate them, or we'll just kind of give them a light boil and then freeze them. And the bulbs, we'll have different plans with them. So some of them we'll just clean up and freeze them. Others we're going to pickle. Of course, we won't eat the pickled ones in the big wild year because we're not using vinegar. But we're also picking ahead for next year when we'll be under a different set of rules, or maybe no rules at all. But we'll be very excited to have pickled leeks next year. So the white trilliums, very, very common down here, and I look for leeks around the white trilliums. And there's also a nice little patch of violets here, and I'm going to eat these violet flowers. I brought a bit of food down with me, so later in the video I'll be eating some hare. I got a couple nuisance hares while I was protecting the garden, and brought some down with me, and I also brought bear liver from the bear I shot in September. So I'm going to cook like a liver and onions dish, but it'll be bear liver and wild leeks. So that should be very good as well. You can stay tuned for that. Well, there we go. 2 buckets, 1 basket. And it started to rain a little bit harder, so we're going to go have a bite to eat and go fishing. Now it's time for a little car picnic. I don't know if you'll be able to see the leeks just peeking up in the back there. Safely delivered back to my car. And lunch is this nuisance hare that I got from the gardens, and there's a little bit of bear fat there to dip it because it's a little bit dry on its own. I'm gonna drink a lot of water, and next stop will be fishing. It's been a thunderstorm, so it's been too rainy to film. I just came down to the river. Been here for about 10 minutes. And look at this nice little trout. Hopefully there's more like it. Supper. Here's the first one that I caught. Probably fished out that spot for now. There's a really nice pool upstream, so I'm gonna go try my luck there. Just fished the top side of that pool. Boom! Look at this! This makes me very, very happy. Look at that. Big trout that came up from the big lake. I'm covered in fish slime. That is okay. Because instead of eating bear liver and leeks tonight, I'm going to be eating rainbow trout. Unless I put it on ice, share it with Delphanie tomorrow. She's coming to meet me to cook some leeks. That's awesome. That's a big fish. Maybe there's more like it. I decided to save this one up to eat with Delphanie. There's a few meals worth in this guy. I did eat a smaller one that I also caught. So that's my limit of 2. And if I have a chance tomorrow, I'll see if I can go catch one more, because I'll still have this one in my cooler, so that'll be my limit of 2. And I will have some liver tonight, and probably I should keep this fish liver. Well, he's got a huge gallbladder. And I'll cook this fish liver with my bear liver. I brought some chives with me, which seems kind of silly now that I think about it, because I came down to a leek patch. So there's the fish liver. It's got a little liver parasite, it looks like. A couple of them. They'll cook out. And it's a male. Big gonad there. A little fish heart. Might as well eat that too. And fish stomach. You know I'm gonna eat that. Oop. think I hit that gull. Get that out of there. I don't know about eating these sperm sacs. I've eaten a lot of fish eggs. I don't know about these guys. I'll have to look that up. Pop the gills out of here. Don't need those. And it's ready to go on ice. Now let's see about this trout stomach. Don't need that. I think it's a spleen. Don't know anything about eating those. What's this big guy been eating? The smaller one that I caught had been eating all benthics. Had some beetles and things in it. And this guy has an empty stomach. No wonder he was interested in my worm. So I'll get some of my water, rinse that off, wash my hands. This guy's going in the cooler. This is for the raccoons. And what am I going to do next? I'm going to pick some partridge berry and do a little turkey hunt. Stay tuned. Well, I wanted to get ice, but I kind of got myself stuck. My friend Dan came out earlier and he said, "Oh, it looks pretty muddy. You gonna get out of there?" "Oh yeah, no problem." So I'm filling my rut sand with shoulder gravel, and we'll see if that does the trick. So I've been making my ruts a little bit longer here, inch by inch, and adding more gravel. I think there might be enough to get out of here, so let's give it another go. Fingers crossed. Hooray! Maybe I'm going to be getting ice and a car wash. It's not even that bad of a spot, just really sloppy. So filling in with the shoulder gravel and just kind of packing it down inch by inch did the trick. My poor tires. Still time of the day for some picking and some turkey hunting. So let's get this done. There it is. I went through the car wash. Looks a little cleaner than it did. But it's an old vehicle. Now it's time for a little turkey hunt. Everything's pretty damp because it rained all morning and the thunderstorm after. Pretty smoky fire. As long as we get it going, then we should be good. Start to feed some big ones in the front here. Get some coals in there. It's nicer cooking on coals because then you don't get all that black soot on your pot. Raccoon fat. there. Bear liver. I guess I'll go cut this on the log back here. Turned out to be a pretty good foraging weekend. Fish and leeks, a small amount of mushrooms, some of those partridge berry. Just gotta get a turkey to round it all out. Pretty lucky so far. The mosquitoes haven't been bad. This little stove is great. I never thought I'd ever get one, but Delphanie got one, and we use it all the time. Sometimes you don't want to have to make a whole big bed of coals to cook up a meal. And this will boil up tea pretty quick. It's very light. I think Delphine wants to get the titanium one. We took it on our 5-day hike of the Ottawa-Temiskaming Highland Trail, and it was pretty indispensable there. You know, you don't have to spend all your time cutting big firewood. You just break up dead twigs, and it cooks like a charm. Let's get this fat hot. Get my next sticks ready. Oh, fat's already sizzling on one side. Let's get some liver. See if it sizzles. Oh, it does! Ooh, and spits. Oh, I missed the pot. Am I going to edit that out? Or am I going to leave it in? Pretty gritty. I might have to rinse that piece. I landed right where I kicked down to the mineral soil. I've got all those leeks, but I brought chives, wild chives, feral chives. They've been growing in my parents' cattle pasture for as long as I've been alive. So let's throw those in there. And just some fresh ones in the pot. Can you get trichinosis from bear liver, or is it all in the flesh, the muscle? This is something that I do not know. So we're gonna have our liver well cooked. The royal we. I'm gonna have my liver well cooked. And what I'm going to do when it's well cooked is put it in this pot and then start a second batch. I'm hungry. So I went out, called it turkey hunting. Really, I just carried a shotgun around and looked for things. I found a ostrich fern patch that's past the fiddlehead stage, but I could get at it next year. I scoped out a couple more fishing spots on the river, and I picked cup and a half of the partridge berry to have in some big wild year cakes. And then I got famished. So I came back, decided it was time for supper. I feel like I might lose my little fire here. Got some little pieces down in the bottom, I guess. Let's see if that saves it. Those guys back in after. Here we go. That looks alright, eh? Cook it for another minute, and then we'll do up another batch. Probably eat 4 panfuls of that, I think. There's a whole bear liver there. so there's no shortage of liver and chives. Round two. Got fat hot. I think I'm down to my last half jar of raccoon fat, so hopefully we get a spring bear that's got some fat on it, or I'm gonna have to find somebody with some nuisance raccoons that need to be taken out. Yeah, where did that other one go off to? Also down in the grit. That one's a write-off. Alright, let's see. A little bit of bear liver and chives. Tastes like a liver. That's kind of rich from the raccoon fat. That's very good. I like that. So whether or not I get a turkey tomorrow, we also have a turkey hunt lined up with a guy who I believe is doing some turkey guiding. And we're guaranteed to pick more leeks on that trip. So that'll be an upcoming video. Should have brought some of my maple sap with me. Maple syrup. I've just about used up the last of my 2018 syrup. And I haven't tapped into my new supply yet. Delphine's had a little bit. I'm not sure how much we made yet. We have to tally it all up. But I know I drank a few liters while I was working in the sugar bush. For sure. And we took a lot of sap home and made tea with it. Probably enough for a couple more liters of syrup. So we did all right. And that hopefully will carry us through till maple syrup season 2020. Who knows what 2020 will be? The bigger, wilder year. Nothing but grocery stores, half and half, 60-40. We haven't decided yet. I'm going to cut up more bear liver and then come back to this. I'll be back. I think these combo foraging weekends are pretty much my favorite. Got a rod, I've got a gun, I've got baskets. I'm picking, I'm packing, I'm casting. And you can spread yourself too thin, I guess, but I seem to not really ever get skunked when I cover all my bases like that. It smells really good. The chives and the liver together. That's a good combo. More fat, more liver, more eating, more fire. So the big wild year has been going really well. I'm just recently back from Grenada. I got back less than a week ago, and been doing a lot of picking as much as I can. Just started fishing. A lot of the season's just opened. So I'll be sharing more of that with you. In a couple of weeks, we're doing our next round of physiological testing. Strength, percent body fat, flexibility, grip strength, VO2 max. So that'll be basically 6 months into the big wild year. We'll get our update. Should be doing more blood work soon as well. So that'll be good. And then, what else have we got going on? We are going to the 6th annual Great Lakes Foragers Gathering in Michigan. We're going to do a keynote presentation there on our big wild year. We're going to the Ontario Preppers Meet. It's like a survival expo in July. Do a presentation there. Harvest Gathering in September. Doing a presentation there. I just bought my lottery for the Ontario elk draw. So we've got a group of 4 drawing together for that. I just bought my moose tag for the draw. So I'm hoping to get a moose license. Well, an adult tag anyway. I tried to draw for a bull. So we'll see how that works out. It's going to be a busy year. Anyway, I'm just cooking and eating. There's about an hour of light left, so if I finish this up in the next half hour, I might go for a little wander, or I might call it a night. I'm going to set up my tent, my sleeping bag, and we'll be up early for another turkey hunt. So there didn't seem to be too much going on for turkeys, so I kind of quit that early and switched to leeks. And there's my next haul of leeks. So a 5-gallon pail, 2 3-gallon pails. Those are all leeks with their bulbs attached. And again, I was being really careful and harvesting a very, very small portion of the patch. And kind of done here, so I'm going to head home. And this afternoon is going to be a fiddlehead pick. So this is a big foraging weekend. Kind of a little bit of everything. I was really hoping for a turkey, but as I mentioned earlier, we're heading out with a ringer on Wednesday, Thursday, so hopefully that pans out. And, you know, maybe I'll find one on the road on the way there or something. You never know. A little roadkill turkey. It's critical to be comfy for this part, so got my pajamas on. So with all the leeks that I brought back, what we're doing is snipping. And I'm setting all the greens aside. We're going to rinse those and blanch them and freeze them, or we're going to rinse them and dry them and dehydrate them. And all the bulbs go into a bucket of water. So from the bucket of water, there's a bit of a trick to this. If you push from the stem down, the outermost skin layer of the leek peels all the way to the root. And then you can just snip that off and you have your leek bulb. So again, you just push that layer of skin to the end, snip that off, another leek bulb, and that's about as fast as that goes. So having seen our pile of leeks, you know how long we're going to be doing this for, but I think it'll be worth it. And these ones here will get a final rinse, and then some of them are going to go into some pickles, and some of them we're going to eat fresh tonight with the rainbow trout that I caught, and some of them are going to be frozen for big wild food meals. Okay, here's that rainbow trout, and what we're going to do is we're going to steak it, and then we can broil trout steaks in the oven, and then we can freeze the rest of it, because it'll probably take us how many days to eat this? Maybe just one.
1.5.
Yeah. So we'll cut behind this fin. We'll probably do some soup with the head. This might be just about the biggest trout that I've ever caught, actually, now that I think about it. It's pretty thick-boned.
You need your new knife from your sister. Wow.
That cleaver, yeah. That hasn't made a YouTube appearance yet. Trout head. It's like when you buy a salmon head in the grocery store. Now, what do I want to do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Might as well follow the ribs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Did you eat his guts?
I did. So did you. I cooked them in that liver.
Oh, okay.
We had a little bit of the last of the bear liver. We cooked it up at lunch with some leeks, and I cooked that trout stomach that I took out, and the trout liver and the trout heart. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just was counting them from the inside there. Okay, steaks, and then this will be another meal another day. Thanks. And we'll cook them. So the fish is in the oven. Some fiddleheads are going to boil. We're going to fry up these leek bulbs. And we're going to fry up these yard greens, which include dock, dandelion, primrose, and sheep sorrel. Look and smell really good. So we're going to heat up that supper. Get myself out of the shadow here. We're going to heat up that supper, and it smells really good. I'm sure it's going to taste good as well. And then we're going to focus on these leeks, which I'll probably do a little bit of footage as well, just to kind of wrap things up. And the fiddleheads. We have to process those as well as soon as get them all done. Here's our all of leek bulbs so far, and we have this many left to clean, but taking a break. It's dessert time and Game of Thrones.
Oh, I thought you were going to say NT.
Yeah, Auntie.